Hey everybody, feels like forever since I made a video because I've been working quite a bit. Finally got to a day off and now I need to go off the island to do, yes, my usual trip to get some bits and pieces. Sorry, quite often my videos lately have been this same trip, but unfortunately when you don't have time to do anything, you just have to make videos when you can, and it tends to be on this trip. It also looks very much like it's going to rain, so I'm hoping to beat it. I normally fail at this. Anyway, I have a subject to talk about today, and that is perception. But I'm going to sort of start with talking about something, and then the way that you perceive it will be the perception bit. You'll see anyway. Okay, so if you don't know, there is an image taken by the Hubble Space Telescope called the Deep Field image. Okay, now this image is the equivalent of holding a 5p up in the sky 25 metres away from you. So you get 5p 25 metres away, that tiny little pinprick of sky. They chose this spot in the sky because it looked dull and uninteresting and nothing was really there, as they thought. Well, they took a long exposure image of it over thousands and thousands and thousands of seconds, and they found 10,000 colourful blobs. These 10,000 blobs were galaxies. Every single one of those galaxies has 100,000 million stars. So in this tiny insignificant pinprick of sky, there's 10,000 galaxies with 100,000 million stars per galaxy, on average. It's huge numbers, it's hard to compute, but then you realise, as I say, it's that tiny, tiny little pinprick. Another fact about this, some of the light from there has taken 13.2 billion years to get here. Now, light travels at 300,000 kilometres per second, or 186,000 miles per second. So 186,000 miles per second for 13.2 billion years. That is the vastness of space, and it's just, it's incomprehensible. It really, truly is. You could not comprehend that. But as I say, 186,000 miles per second, it will take 13 billion years for it to get from there to there. Okay, so the universe is only 13.7 billion years old, plus or minus 0.2. It's the best guess so far, or most accurate guess. The Earth is only 5 billion years old, which means the light was halfway here before the Earth was anything other than dust. So there you go, it's a very short explanation of the Hubble Deep Field image and the size of the universe. That's just the observable universe, by the way. Oh, the rain started! No, I'm losing! I'm going to put a link in the description to that image because it is truly a wondrous image. It blows my mind. This is the sort of stuff that I love. I can't get enough of it. I was actually talking about this on Facebook. I keep finding myself watching physics lectures and stuff, and I'm calling it educational procrastination because I can't stop watching stuff like this. I just want to learn more and more. I'm like a freaking heroin addict for learning. I need to learn more stuff. I need to know more stuff every day. I need to I've been like that forever. It's just my nature. But anyway, this is where we're going to talk about perception. So you've given all these numbers, and the length of the time that this universe has existed, and you realise that the human race, not just a human being, the human race has been a femtosecond of just nothingness. Before life existed, there was chemistry and physics, and then we had to go through biogenesis, is where chemistry turned into reproducing cells. Well, not cells, sorry, reproducing molecules. So it could, and then that turned into photosynthesis, and then we had another staggering point we had to cross, which was being multicellular, and then it goes on even more and more, and then we have to get into it in the intelligence part. And you realise that the chances of us being here was incredibly unlikely. And the time that we've been here has been very, very, very short. And this is the perception bit. There is two ways of looking at it. You can either think, oh, fucking hell, my life is a meaningless, not even worth talking about amount of time in the existence of this universe, and I'll make no difference to anything. Really, everything that we do is practically meaningless because we're bound to get wiped out in the next couple 100,000 years or something. I'm afraid that happens to be the truth. We probably won't last an awful much longer. It's just the way these things go. It may be why we haven't ever discovered life before, or had met extraterrestrials, apart from the distance problem and the unlikelihoods of life evolving, well, not life, actually, not biogenesis, that's relatively likely, they believe, but for intelligence life forming. And for us to be able to think on the same level and, you know, communicate on the same part of the spectrum, because we, you know, everyone's looking on radio telescopes, we don't know what frequency they're going to be talking on. I mean, what they tried to do is they used the frequencies for hydrogen, and later they decided, let's try using the frequencies of water. And still they haven't found anything. But then they haven't looked at, like, the tiny proportion of everything. So yeah, you can look at it that way, as things are meaningless and nothingness and blah, 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 blah. Or you can look at it from another perspective, which, fucking hell, it's amazing that right now I am sat on this bike talking to you doing this. Because it has taken everything that came before, these massive, ridiculously unlikely events of things to form and biogenesis and all of this stuff, to then evolve into the animal that I am, to then be chosen to be born by the random selection of sperm and egg, and your parents meeting. I mean, maybe your parents met in a queue somewhere. Maybe if one of them was 2 seconds earlier or 2 seconds later somewhere, you never existed. And then you grew up and you survived and you became what you are right now, sat here watching this video. And then you can then think to yourself, my God, the amount of luck that I've needed or has been required to this point now to actually just be a living, breathing being on this planet, in this universe which is gigantic and just full of wonderment, and at a time when we might actually be starting to understand how things work and how we got here and that sort of stuff. Jesus Christ, aren't we lucky? Thanks, man. That was a big counter expanding phone that exploded. So this is what I mean by perception. And this affects things in a day-to-day life. How you take things can be how you feel about things and how happy and how not happy you are. What the fuck is that? It's just some random fucking thing hanging in a tree. Okay. That's how you do a U-turn of the test, right? So yeah, there you go. Perception. How do you look at the fact that you're here right now, being able to write a comment that you're about to write, hopefully? You know, for me, the more I've learned through my life, the more I want to learn. And the problem with the thing with the universe and stuff is that it's constantly evolving, and we're learning more and more and more, and realising that sometimes we were wrong before and sometimes we were right. In fact, I think sometimes facts are found to be 60% of the time, in so many years' time, are wrong. It can be marginal. When it comes to something like the dates and the times and stuff like with the universe, we have methods of actually calculating things quite well, using light shift and stuff to work out how far away things are. But light shift, by the way, is as the universe expands and galaxies get further away, their light gets stretched out because they are getting further and further and further away. 42 miles per second, I think it is. But it's increasing. The further away you go, the faster they seem to be going, because it's you know. Anyway, that causes the light waves to go from short blue light waves into long red ones. And we can work out, using that colour shift in the light, how far away things are and stuff like that. And by this point in the video, nearly everyone has switched off, because for some reason when I talk about stuff that's really, like, you know, not complicated, but stuff like this, it tends to scare people off, it seems, or they're disinterested and be more interested by Facebook and the things that are going on their phone. And I wonder, how can you possibly be interested by shit like that when you realise that you're sat on a dot in the middle of nowhere? Look at the bigger picture, man. It's a fucking big picture. Look at it. But yeah, as I say, oh look, it's a Bentley! Oh, it's a Bentley! Oh, lovely! It's all perception as to how you think about these things, and I really would love to know how you think about it. Anyway, I will be making videos as and when I can. No, I'm not sponsored by Tesco's. I just have to come here to buy food, and I only sometimes have the opportunity to make videos when I'm coming here to get food for me and Mrs. Spice. So there you go, sorry if I've mind fucked you a little bit, but dude, you've got to learn about this stuff, it's fucking amazing. Anyway, leave a like if you like this sort of stuff, and I'll catch you next time.
Is that 4 or the 6?
Huh?
Is that 400? No, it's a mad one.
125, mate! That's a shed. It's in many pieces, but they can put it back together all the same. It's a shed, a lovely place to live, when you ain't got nowhere else to live but on the street. We live in a shed. It's made of wood. It's got the felt roof ripping off and leaks. It smells like fox piss, but it's home all the same. I live in a shed. It's covered in shit. It smells like fox piss, but I don't care. It's my home. It's better than living on the street. And this is the song I sing all about it. Living in a shed. It smells like fox piss. That was a wren. It's a little tiny bird. Latin. Troglodytes, troglodytes. Oh my god, I'm such a fucking nerd.